Hi, everybody. I am Jim Wanzeck with RE/MAX Masters Millennium, and we are here at 6020 Greenwood Plaza Boulevard. This is the home of RE/MAX Masters, but we're in the Mount Elbert studio, and we're interviewing Maegan Keller today from Shape Space, and really excited to talk to her about her business. But just welcome, Maegan. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Jim. Thank you for having me today.
Well, this is really exciting that we get to talk today. So tell me a little bit about, first of all, maybe how you got into Shape Space. Tell us a little bit of background.
I will. That's a great question. So I moved around a lot as a kid. My dad was in the mining business. And
Okay.
So we would move every couple of years. So I've lived in small towns of 800 in the middle of Montana and into bigger cities. So when we bought our house, my husband and I bought a house in Centennial about 5 years ago.
Okay, great timing.
Yeah. Even then I said, I'm not ready yet. He goes, no, it's only going to go up. So glad we did that.
Good.
And yes, when we bought that, I counted up my address changes and I had moved 24 times.
Wow.
Before 35. So
Yes.
I had seen lots of moving, and I had watched my parents manage many, many moves and buying and selling of homes,
Right.
and I loved it.
Yes, that's awesome.
And it turns out not everybody else loves moving. And so I love helping people in transitions, and that's really where the company came from.
Okay.
But prior to that, I had a whole first career for 18 years as a dance education specialist.
Oh, neat.
So I taught a full-time high school program in Phoenix.
Okay.
I freelanced out in New York and taught in schools in the city.
Okay.
And I had that whole career, and I loved
Wow,
it.
yes.
And I found where I really put my organizational skills to use was producing shows
Okay.
and keeping track of all the things you have to keep track of when you have
Right.
150 kids on stage.
Yes.
So I was always that kid that never had to get told, go clean your room. I just did it. I loved
Okay.
it. And when I moved to New York City, I was thinking that I wanted to go into arts administration. I had been teaching for a long time and I loved it. I thought, I think I want to go on the business side of this. And I finished my master's at Columbia University there
Wow.
in arts administration.
Okay.
It was great.
Yes.
It was a whole learning situation to
Right.
move to New York. Everything's different in your life. And it was wonderful, and I kept doing internships everywhere thinking, oh, I'm going to do marketing. Oh, I'm going to do development. And nothing was sticking, and it turns out I'm also not great sitting still all day long.
Okay. Yeah, I can relate to that.
Yeah. And I thought, it's nothing settling in, but I finished it. We had both of our kids out there.
Okay.
In 400 square feet.
Yeah, I
And
was going to
then-
say, because I have a young lady that's moving to Brooklyn and
Okay,
Williamsburg. Is that so? Tell me where in New York, because I've been to Manhattan a lot of times,
Okay.
but outside of the city, I haven't really been.
Yeah, well, we were in Manhattan at the beginning.
Okay.
And Columbia's up on 121st and Broadway. So you're basically just above the Upper West Side.
Okay.
And it's beautiful up there. So we were there for 2 years.
Okay.
And then decided to move to Brooklyn.
Uh-huh.
And where your friend is more north of us.
Okay.
And we were more south. There's a popular neighborhood called Park Slope that a lot of people know of, right next to Prospect Park.
Yep.
And we were just south of that
Okay.
in Windsor Terrace. So right on the southwest corner of Prospect Park, which was, a mini Central Park. It was just beautiful.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so and I remember we moved from 400 to 800 square feet.
Big deal.
Big deal. It
Yeah.
was just, it felt like a mansion for a second there. But yeah, you add 2 kids into that, and
Right.
Colorado started looking really good. My family's from out
Oh,
here.
okay.
Yeah.
So yes, that's how you got back to Colorado, and
Yeah.
so tell me a little bit about your husband and your children. That would be interesting.
Oh, yeah. My husband is Scott. He works for a company called Tegna, and he's in IT and media management.
Okay,
So he worked
fantastic.
for NBC and Columbia out
Oh,
in
wow. Okay,
in New
fantastic.
York,
He's got an
and
exciting
ended
job
up here.
too.
So it was fun. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got to see lots of people there. And then I have a 10-year-old son named Roland.
Oh,
and he's
really?
in 4th grade.
Okay.
Playing basketball and reading a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And my daughter's birthday is tomorrow. She'll be 7.
Well, fantastic. We'll have to sing her happy birthday. That would be cool.
I don't know if you want me to sing. I can dance, but not
Okay.
sing.
Yeah.
But yeah, so she's in 1st grade, and we're in Centennial, and it's just been great. to
Oh,
move
that is
out
really
here.
great. That's
Yeah.
really fantastic. You know, my daughter grew up dancing, and then she
Okay.
was in Palms, and so then she danced all through college at TCU, Texas Christian
Oh,
University,
yeah.
and so that was pretty interesting to follow that. But you know, the one thing that you said that I think is really important is the work ethic that dancers really have. It's better than the football players. So they were pushing them grades, and they were just making sure that, you know, really they gave that work ethic that obviously you have, and that's really cool, that transition into what you finally loved about your business now. So tell us about what you actually do.
Yes. Well, I'll link it to dance because
Okay.
the name of my company is Shape Space, and I started it in the fall of 2018 because when we moved here, I thought, am I going to keep teaching? Am I going to go try to work for Denver Center for Performing Arts, something? But yet I had these 2 little kids at home, so I paused for a minute. And then I started helping my mom, who had done a big downsize. Oh, come over and help me with my closet. And so we worked through her stuff, and then her friend said, oh, come help me. And the neighbor said, come help me. And
Okay.
I thought, I think I'm moving into a different field. But I had thought about that field since 2006 or so. I had looked it up and said, is this a thing? Can you be a professional organizer? What is this? So I knew it was a thing.
Okay.
And it was always just, I think, in the back of my mind.
Right.
And it was exciting to bring in this nonprofit arts administration experience and apply it to running my own business. So things started to come together. But the word shape and space are 2 fundamental dance principles in any dance form, right? The shape of your body, what it's doing, and then where is it in space?
Yeah, neat.
And that's what we do with people's items is we choreograph them.
Okay.
And we move them around, and we help it all feel better, and we organize it.
Wow.
So I originally wanted to do space choreography, and I thought, that's a complicated name for a company. But it's really about shaping the space that you are in, shaping it to support your work goals, your family goals, where you're at now. And as we know, that keeps changing and evolving over time. So we have to keep shaping our space to support us, and that's what we do. We work with people in the homes that they are currently in if they just want to feel better in their space.
Okay.
But because I love moving, my favorite thing is to help people prepare to go onto the market before they move and get decluttered, get organized so that they're ready for everything else. They're ready for the realtor to come in, the photographer.
Yeah.
They're ready for people to open the pantry in the closet and it looks
Right.
nice.
Right.
But then I tell them, then you're ready for an organized pack up
Right.
by us or movers. You're ready to then unpack and go to your new place with everything you actually want to take. So it's a bit of an upfront effort.
Yeah.
But I really encourage people to do that because the payoff is amazing.
Well, I could imagine just when you were telling me about going from 400 to 800 square feet, you had to learn a lot about, you know, making sure, because some friends that I have in New York, other friends, that they were always saying they live in such a small space, it's one thing out, one thing in. You know, if you want to bring something in, you got to decide what to take out. So, I mean, it really gives you a kind of a perspective of what you actually do for people, because my family, my wife and I really struggle with what happens when we decide to downsize and that kind of thing, and all the things we've accumulated. So we have a saying that, you know, if what is it going to sell for at the ranch sale before we decide to buy it, because that's what will happen. So really cool of how you can do that for people, which is that most people just don't know how to get started.
It's overwhelming.
Yes.
And it's more overwhelming when it's your stuff because it's attached to a story. It's attached to a oh, I was going to do that, or
Oh,
that
yeah.
used to be my hobby. It's attached to our life story, even if it's something small.
Right.
And so, and people vary with their level of
Okay.
being ready to let go of things or not.
Okay.
But yeah, it's much harder when it's your stuff. So I tell people that's pretty much the number one reason to hire an organizer would be
Right.
just for that support, accountability, and to let someone else take the load.
Yeah.
Because it's, if anyone, and I'm sure almost everyone has tried to organize something in their house or office.
Right.
It's a mental load of making decisions. It's sometimes emotional, depending on
Yeah.
what you're doing.
Yep.
And then it can be very physical. You're in the garage, the storage, it can be very taxing. And so I think a lot of people do great starting or going, I'm going to get to this today. And then they realize that pile or that paper or that corner really leads. It's all a puzzle.
Okay.
So
Sure.
I love puzzles. I can
Okay.
sit down all day and do them, but I don't have any time right now.
Right.
But I tell people that, it's really putting all the pieces
Okay.
together of
Okay.
your whole home.
Yeah.
Because different parts, like the garage can relate to the laundry room, can relate to storage, can relate to back stock of something. So we put our brain around that so that clients don't have to.
Okay.
And then we take all the physical load of everything so they don't almost have to touch anything. I tell them, I said, you're there to you're the yes, no, maybe, talk me through your
Yes.
decisions.
Uh-huh.
And that's very helpful. We'll work with or without clients. So we go into some homes when they're working or they're out of town.
Okay.
And we can
So you don't have to be directly
Right.
relate with them. You can actually, okay.
'Cause really,
that's
people
got to
are
have some
busy.
trust factor there.
Yeah,
So,
we got a trust factor. And
Yeah.
I mean, it's time, energy, or money
Yeah.
to manage
Right.
stuff.
Yeah.
So we're stuff managers in a way and
Okay.
can help people do that if they don't have the time or energy, or they just go, that is not what I want to do. And to us, for us to sort something goes much faster than somebody else when it's their stuff, because it's not ours. It's
yeah.
just
Right.
it is
You don't have that
the
emotional
object it
attachment.
is.
We bought it
Yeah.
in Alaska 25 years
Right,
ago. That's
right, we
been
don't-
never touched since, right?
Yes, exactly.
Yes,
Yeah, so
I
we
have
do
a couple of those.
Just a couple.
Yeah.
Right? We all do. That's what I found too is so fun. Is I love people and I love their
Neat.
stories.
Yes.
And every day is different, so it fits my need
Yeah.
for moving around. But
Okay.
we all have stuff.
Yes. Well, so how do you get paid? That's one of the
Yeah.
questions that people are going to ask me immediately.
Okay.
So kind of
Right.
just,
How does this
how does that work?
Yeah, we do. We just do straight hourly.
Okay.
And the way it normally works is I'll have a realtor call me or a client call me, and they'll say, here's the situation. We're planning on going on the market this day or moving this. This is if it's moving related.
Sure.
And fill me in on a few details, how much stuff is in the house,
Right.
how long have they been there? Because usually if it's been a long time, it's going to take a little bit to go through things.
Yes.
And just give me some background. And then usually if it's a whole home downsize for a move, I come and visit and do about a 1-hour consult.
Okay.
And through that, we do a walk and talk. It's amazing what you can learn
Right.
when people are talking about their space and they're in it and their energy. I can
Cool.
see it on their face.
Yeah.
And from there, I make a checklist, basically. What's staying in the house? What does the realtor want to stay? Sometimes there's a stager involved, sometimes not. So what's staying? What's going? What's going to donation or
Okay.
consignment? And then what do they want to keep, as in what do we need to get through of some of those nitty gritty closets or drawers or stuff?
All right.
And a time frame for that. And so I'll tell you a couple of clients that we've had recently,
Great.
because that's a nice way to see the variety of what we do. But let me finish that, so I'll type that up with an estimate of the time it might take, a range.
Okay.
And then the pricing around that. And what clients can do is they can say, great, come do it all. Sign me up. Or they can say, okay, well, let me take these rooms and I think I can do my office myself, but can you help with this? And they'll pick and choose. Other clients, I had one in Lone Tree a couple of weeks ago. We did the whole consult, typed it all out, And she just happens to have time and energy and likes to do these things.
Okay.
And so she paid for 3 or 4 hours of my time to make her a solid plan of action.
Okay.
And then she's going to implement it.
Oh, neat.
So there's a big range of
Okay.
we can do all of it and be really concierge type service,
Mm-hmm.
or we can just be more of an accountability
Okay.
guide person. So, for example, I know you were big with Smedra.
Yes.
So I recently became a business affiliate with them last year.
They're awesome. And now we're back. So
Amazing.
you've been to the
Yeah,
space?
I have.
So I shaped that space.
I know. I read about that. It's beautiful.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was really fun doing that. Yes.
Yeah, it's an amazing space, and I got connected with them as a business affiliate, and so I sponsored one of the classes. I think it
Yeah.
was when I was still on Zoom,
Okay.
a little over a year ago, and did my little 3-minute, here we are, and I
Right.
had a realtor already texting me, I'm going to call you after this. I have a client, 8,000 square feet, and they want it on the market, last month,
Right.
yesterday.
Yes. Yeah.
I said, okay. It was such an amazing project. It was an 8,000 square foot house in Castle Rock. And yeah, he had no time. He's a very busy man, multiple properties, multiple businesses, just great, amazing guy. But I had an hour with him to walk that space.
Yeah.
To make a few big decisions. And then what we did is in 3 days, we had a team of 7.
Okay.
Each day, we pulled every inch and corner of that house out,
Okay.
decluttered it, organized it, put things back or packed them up depending on what
Yeah.
we had decided. And then one of my organizers staged the whole place. So we're not officially stagers, but this house happened to be professionally interior designed,
Right.
10
So-
years ago. So
right.
it was
easy.
Yeah,
Was at least
yeah.
it wasn't overwhelming
Right.
in that
It
regard.
was just
So
making it look great.
I mean, sometimes you have to do roll-offs, or
we did in that case.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So I had permission from him to use my discretion.
Okay.
And because he was out of the country actually when this was
Wow.
happening.
I mean,
Yeah.
that takes some
Yeah.
guts for
Yeah.
their
and
clients.
I
So that's
document everything. Yeah,
Okay.
here's the if things are broken or trashed.
Yeah. Okay. Obvious
trash.
stuff.
But
Yeah.
there was a
Some
haul of that much,
Okay.
in
Wow.
that in
Right,
3
right.
garages, things
Okay.
like that. So we did that. And then we do recommended donation piles. So for example, his kids are 14 and 17. They're not wearing 18-month clothing.
Right.
But there's 18-month clothing down here.
Right.
We're going to box that up and put recommended donate so that
Neat.
when I have a minute of his time, I can just say, unless there's something sentimental you need, this
Okay.
could probably just go to donate.
Okay.
And so we don't donate things without the client's permission.
Okay.
And just their eye on it.
Yeah.
And so we got that whole house ready, and then this last November it sold. So he called me up. He said, okay, we got to move. I'm overwhelmed. What do So we came in again, not as many, and we had only 2 hours with him this
Okay.
time to make decisions on the whole house. But what
Okay.
we do is we'll pull things out and say, okay, here's all your pants of this size that you said are too big. And he goes, whoop, great. And it's all donate.
Wow.
And
Okay.
so he was making fast, big decisions. And then we manage the movers too. So we can hire movers. We can get moving quotes. I have a company that I love to work with, but then we can quote out others. And we can be there the day of the move and also
Oh, wow.
before that. Because to
Okay.
pack that house,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
a 4 or 5 day project. So we are telling them, okay, this furniture is going to the new house. Some furniture is staying in the contract with the new buyers. Some is they're going to take to donate. Some is going, so there's multiple places that things are going.
Okay.
Oh, this is to the ex-wife. This is to the kids.
Right, right.
There's usually a lot of moving parts, and we're there managing that.
Sure.
And then we do the unpack. So what
Okay.
was fun about this is he got to move downtown to a renovated Victorian.
Uh-huh.
And
Wow.
but totally different vibe than
Yeah.
a mountain home. And so we really helped him pare down and unpack everything. At the same time, I'm dealing with the contractors down there and their timeline. Oh, the kitchen drawers aren't done, so we can only unpack so much.
Okay.
So when we take on a project, we can take on all the levels of it and all the moving parts so
Sounds
that
like
it can
it.
move
That's fabulous.
smoothly. Yeah.
So I had a question as far as geographical location. Are you limited to, you say, I only go to Castle Rock, to Fort Collins, or even Centennial? I mean,
Right.
what is your area of expertise and where you want to be?
Right. I mean, most of my organizers who are working for me and myself were in the Centennial area, so it is always nice if it's just a
Okay.
15-minute drive or something.
Okay.
I've worked up in Loveland, and I've worked down in Larkspur.
Okay.
So we just
Yeah.
had a job out in Strasburg. So we'll
Okay.
travel
Sure.
physically.
Okay.
We're happy to travel out of state as well.
Wow.
But I also do virtual. So I had a client who's
Everybody's learning how to do virtual,
Right?
right? Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of why we have a radio station.
It's great. I mean, I had a client. Have you heard of the app Marco Polo at all? Is that familiar?
No.
Okay, it's not familiar to everyone. It's not, but I used it during the pandemic and kept in touch with some friends. So it's amazing for the work I do because I can take video and so say I did your kitchen one day,
Right.
and you weren't home, but I can tell you with pictures or tell you with an email, but it doesn't say what's actually happening.
Okay.
As well as doing a video where I can flip it and show you and talk you through all the spaces.
Okay, cool.
And then you can flip back to me and say, oh, yes, this worked, this didn't. You
Yeah.
know, and so that's been a great tool. So I've done garages and really any project through
Okay.
that. So
Fantastic.
I have a client in Arizona who just texted yesterday. We did his garage using that app.
Oh, neat.
He toured me. I made him a checklist, and then I was just his accountability partner
Sure.
over the couple of weekends.
That's
he
got to
did
be
his
most
garage.
important there, right there.
Yeah.
So tell us, how do we get a hold of you? What is the
Yes,
best way?
Yes. Email or calling
Okay.
is great.
Uh-huh.
So
We'll put that on the screen, but
that'd be
give us
great.
your phone number at least.
yeah, happy to. It's 720-728-9203.
Well, Maegan, it's been
Yeah.
really fabulous to get to know you, and we'll probably have to talk a few more times because you've got some great stories, and we want to hear about that.
Yeah.
So, hey, listen, if you've enjoyed this, you want to give Maegan a call. We've put all her numbers on the screen. She's a wonderful, delightful person that can really make a difference in decluttering your life and making something special for your family, like we always try to do here at RE/MAX Masters Millennium. So, thank you for listening today, and see you soon.